Welcome to Commanders Daily, everybody. I'm Bob Matthews. This is your one-stop shop for everything going on with the Burgundy and Gold. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss an episode of it. All right, we got a few things to run down here as the grind season continues. Remember, July 17th is the day that rookies report for training camp, so that's when, real news will start again. But we got a couple of things that we need to be keeping our eye on as we approach the magic date. First up, and I have told you guys ever since we started this channel that there are a couple of things here you're always going to get from us. That is, we are going to give you the news honestly without just trying to get clicks, and we are going to be both transparent and self-aware. Having said that, we got to start out, as you can see, with the top story, which is the fact that I goofed last week. Yep, that's right. And I just want to give a shout out to @EarlBruce3232 because he was the one that pointed it out. And yes, Earl, you were right. That was on me. I said that Colson Yankoff was a rookie. He is, of course, not a rookie. He is a second-year tight end, spent a large part of last year injured. And yes, I kept mispronouncing Ben Sennett's last name. So I apologize for that. I was wrong on that. It's on me. But at least, we have recognized the error, and we will, attempt at least to try and correct it as the season goes on. As for Cole Turner, and Earl had asked about him as well. Earl, all I can tell you is that Turner, I think he's doing fine. He hasn't been mentioned either by the guys on the beat or by any of the coaches specifically in any of the media sessions there at minicamp. Doesn't mean he's doing bad. He's probably, I would guess, he's right on schedule for where things are right now. I think he's doing just fine. Now, does he make the 53-man roster? That's something we will see here in a couple of months. But as of right now, don't think he is, it doesn't sound like he's not getting it out of the park, but it doesn't sound like he has fallen behind either. Just want to give you an update on Terry McLaurin's contract situation, and the update is there is no update. We are still waiting to see. Our good friend Ben Standig of The Athletic, I think, put it best when he said, and I'm paraphrasing his quote here, but wake me up if we get to training camp and there's still not a deal. And I think that's what it is. For whatever reason, the two sides are negotiating it right now. The hang-up seems to be the guaranteed money in year 3. I think that the AAV on it is going to fall somewhere between $27.5 and like $30 or $32 million a year. There may be, on the club side, some concerns, the fact that Terry's 29 and he'll turn 30 during the year, but I don't see why it should be a concern. The guy has posted 1,000-yard seasons no matter who the quarterback's been, and let's be honest, there have been some not so great ones in there. So I wouldn't really worry about it. I think that I still believe 100% the two sides get it done. We may not find out until the first day or two of training camp. It may go into the first few days of training camp. Again, not something that I am worried about at this point. And if you are, hey, look at it this way. The Cincinnati Bengals were able to get both T. Higgins and Jamar Chase done. If they can do that, I'm pretty sure that the Commanders are going to get Terry done. All right, moving on. Interesting, I guess. Well, not, I don't know if it's interesting, but we hear this all the time, especially this time of year, because it's all about content right now. And one of the big questions being batted around by the chattering class is, do the Commanders take a step back this year? I think it all depends on how you view taking a step back. The bar is pretty darn high right now. When you're coming off a 12-5 season and you are, you made it to the NFC Championship game, really the only progress is making it to the Super Bowl, right? Could that happen? Yeah, it's possible. Could the Commanders, wind up 10-7 or 11-6? I think that is also possible. But I don't think that means that they take a step back. For me, progress in 2025 is Washington being a playoff contender and making the playoffs once again. Maybe closing the gap talent-wise with Philadelphia, that'd be a bonus. Don't know if they're quite ready to do that yet. But, if they go 10-7 and make the playoffs and, say, lose wild card weekend or lose in the divisional round, to me, that's progress. Because, remember, this team has not made the playoffs 2 years in a row since 1993. A lot of people have been making a lot over the fact that they were in so many one-score games last year. That really, I don't really put a lot of stock into, well, they just kind of ran the table, quote unquote, on those one-score games, because that's what the league is designed to be. It's designed for every team to go 9-8 every year. The talent level, as we have said, between the Carolina Panthers and the Kansas City Chiefs, razor thin. So, just because I think you're going to have just as many one-score games this year as you did last year, relatively speaking. And I think, the bottom line is good teams make the plays to win those close games. Bad teams don't. And I think it's as simple as that. One piece of, I guess, an interesting little tidbit over the weekend, but it tells you something about, again, speaks to the culture of the organization. I don't know if you saw it, but Josh Harris was at a memorabilia show over the weekend and paid $500,000 for a Jaden Daniels rookie card. Again, on the surface, you say, that is really scraping to the content barrel, but the bottom of the content barrel. But the way I look at it, I think you look at that and you say, here's a guy who, again, it speaks to the culture of the organization. He's showing support in a positive way for his franchise player. He's not bringing him to his house for Thanksgiving dinner and setting him apart for his teammates, but he is literally putting his money where his mouth is and saying, hey, what, $500,000 for a Jaden rookie card? Yeah, I'm a billionaire and he's my guy. Obviously, I'm going to buy it. I do not think we would have seen that with the previous regime. Let's just put it like that. That's going to do it for us. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss a moment of coverage as we are closing in on training camp less than a month away. See you again tomorrow. Remember, like the wise man once said, if you're on your bike tonight, as always, do wear white.